I gotta say, nothing drives me more crazy than watching capable people limit themselves out of their own fear. Fear of failing, fear of trying, fear of what other people might think if they change, speak up, or want more. And most of the time, it doesn't look dramatic. It looks responsible. It looks safe. But slowly, quietly, that fear convinces people to sit on the sidelines of their own life. It's like you're watching somebody else do something while you're on the bench. They don't lose everything at once, they just miss it, day by day. Choosing comfort over courage, worry over presence. What people get wrong about their own potential, and the part that when nobody tells you about potential, is it doesn't feel like confidence. It actually doesn't feel like clarity. If you are pursuing it, it usually feels like uncertainty. You're uncomfortable. It's hard. It could feel like pressure, being bad at something longer than you want to be. And that's exactly why so many capable people stop short. Most people who waste their potential aren't lazy. They're not unmotivated, and they're definitely not incapable. They're actually capable people living inside the wrong assumptions about what their own growth is supposed to feel like. It doesn't show up as readiness, it shows up as a demand. It's pushing you. And when you misread that demand as a sign you should stop, your life doesn't fall apart. It just quietly gets smaller. That's how potential gets wasted. Not in a big failure, not in some dramatic moment, but in small, quiet decisions. You quit the habit when it gets inconvenient. You avoid the conversation because it feels uncomfortable and it's just too hard. You stop trying the thing that made you feel unsure. And nothing bad happens. Life keeps working. But every time you back away from discomfort, the box you live in gets a little smaller. You adjust your expectations, you lower the bar, you tell yourself, this is just how life is now. Eventually, what feels normal isn't your capacity, it's your tolerance for staying comfortable. That's why these wrong assumptions matter. They don't just slow growth once, they train you to stop expecting it. So let's talk about 3 of them. Okay, number 1, wrong assumption. If it were meant for me, it would feel easier. One of the most common ways people misread growth is believing that if something is meant for them, it should feel easy, natural, obvious even. So, you know what? When it feels hard, awkward, slow, effortful, even maybe require you to sweat a little, you just start questioning. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe this isn't my thing. But that assumption's backwards. Growth almost always lives just past what you can currently do with ease. When something stretches you, your brain is adapting, learning how to handle something new. When something feels easy, most of the time it means you're repeating what you already know. People don't grow because things feel smooth. They grow because they stay engaged when things feel uncomfortable. If your life feels very manageable, predictable, or safe, that's not always a sign you're doing things right. Sometimes it's a sign you've stopped asking yourself to handle more. Okay, wrong assumption number 2. I'm wasting my potential because I haven't achieved enough. Oh, think about this. This one sneaks in quietly. You start measuring your potential by outcomes, titles, milestones, achievements, awards, things you can point to and say, see, I did something. And if your life doesn't look impressive enough, fast enough, or even big enough, you assume your potential's being wasted. But achievement and potential are not the same thing. You can look successful while asking very little of yourself. And you can struggle outwardly while learning to handle more than you ever have before. Right? That's why so many people with fine lives feel disconnected. They're productive, responsible, capable, but nothing in their life requires courage, learning, or adaptation. Potential isn't proven by how impressive your life looks. It's revealed by whether you're asking more of yourself than you did before. If nothing in your life right now requires you to stretch or stay uncomfortable longer than you'd like, your potential is probably underused, even if things are going well. And wrong assumption 3. All right. Struggling means I'm actually doing something wrong. Nope. This one shuts people down so fast. Something gets hard. Stress shows up. We think we're supposed to do something well that we've never even tried before. You feel clumsy, slow, unsure. And instead of seeing that as part of the process that you're learning and trying and growing, you actually take it personally. I shouldn't feel this way. If this were right, it wouldn't be this hard. But struggle isn't a warning sign. It's just information. Difficulty often means you're learning to handle something you haven't handled before. When struggle gets labeled as failure, people quit early. Not just on goals, but on themselves. They stop the habit. They avoid the conversation. They back away from responsibility. And every early exit sends a quiet message. Maybe I can't do this. Over time, that message compounds. Your tolerance for discomfort drops. Your confidence becomes conditional. Your life shrinks to what feels manageable. Potential isn't avoiding struggle, it's staying in it without turning against it. Every time you stay present instead of pulling away, you prove something important, that you can handle more than you think you can. It is my belief that you can do anything. So when we lower our standard, here's the part that people don't like to admit. We lower them because it reduces our immediate discomfort. High standards require exposure to effort, uncertainty, and not being good yet. Lowering the bar feels like relief. It quiets your tension. It gives you a reason to stop trying without ever calling it quitting. But that relief is short term. Over time, it costs you respect for yourself. Ouch. But it's true. Because on some level, when you've adjusted your expectations to match what feels safe instead of what you can capably do and you can do, people don't lower their standards because they lack potential. They do it because fear convinces them that protecting comfort is wiser than demanding more. And the moment you start negotiating your standards to avoid struggle is the moment you start shrinking your life to fit your fear. The compounding cost of quitting early is when people quit early, nothing obvious breaks. Life doesn't fall apart. A lot of times people don't even know you quit, except for you. Your bills get paid, you still function. But each time you pull away from your own discomfort, you teach yourself what to expect from yourself. Your sense of ability becomes based not on what you could handle only on what you've recently avoided. Over time, your life reorganizes itself around what feels manageable, not what's possible. And that's how your potential erodes. It doesn't happen all at once, but through small, reasonable decisions to stay comfortable. And the cost isn't just slower progress, it's a shrinking belief in yourself. When you can reach your potential and experience what it actually feels like past what you think you can do, it looks like when you can strip away the hype, right? Actually, your potential looks surprisingly grounded. It's not about intensity or in chasing some ideal version of yourself. It's about increasing your own ability to handle responsibility, pressure, and complexity even without losing yourself, that you can do it. You can figure it out. Most people wait to believe in themselves before they actually act. They've never even tried it. But confidence doesn't work that way. And this is an amazing thing to think about. Confidence grows after your effort, not before it. So if you never try, there's no way you're going to have confidence in it. People who live near their potential, like sitting right in front of you, right, tend to share a few traits. Willing to be bad before being good, right? You're willing to grab it. Staying present when stress shows up. Treating mistakes as information and identity. Choosing effort even when motivation is low. Okay? Potential isn't a personality trait. So stop asking, what am I capable of someday? And start asking, what's the next step I can take right now? Potential isn't a finish line. You don't ever get to it because you're always going to want to push past it. It is a daily practice. It shows up when you choose not to shrink, when something feels hard. When you stay present instead of backing away. When you hold your standards steady, even when everything else is pulling against you, especially your own fear. You don't need to force your growth. You just need to stop opting out of it. Show up, stay with it, and let your life ask more of you, one real moment at a time. Life is there to live to the fullest. You can do anything.